emotions. And so during the course of my PhD, I was responsible for training undergraduates and even master students in forward, reverse kinematics and other robotic applications. And also I trained them in manufacturing chips and semiconductor devices in the care of, so and also additive manufacturing are part of my expertise. And yeah, and care technology basically.
This is very good. Okay, so you have some vision that can bring the academic work into the broader full scale manufacturing.
Oh yes, yes.
That's
So
good.
yeah, so basically I've been able to adapt the use of additive manufacturing to replace cumbersome manufacturing technique in the care of. So
This is great. You're one of us. Okay.
so presently I'm working with Altec to create various devices for companies. So I'm responsible for drafting their schematics and so helping out um, with customizing the products that customers will need for this equipment.
You said Alltech,
Yes, Altec.
and this is what industry is it in?
This is an they make these vehicles. They make vehicles, area vehicles.
Okay, got it. Should I introduce myself?
Yes, right.
Okay, I'm David Malloway from Missouri, same as Phil. I'm living in Texas now. I did undergraduate and graduate degrees in mechanical engineering, and then I spent the last 10 years really focusing on electronics, coding, and the other ingredients to the robotics world. And my industry experience is majority of it 3 years at Toyota, and I was in the engine design group. And so I visited several of their manufacturing facilities, and I very much have the manufacturing side of our inventions in mind all the time. And currently my position is really, and I'm an educator, and so I'm working half-time at Texas A&M. I'm in the mechatronics department, and as you probably know, each university has a mechatronics department that started in one field, like the mechanical department would add electronics, or the software engineering department would add, and so each one has a gap because the professors, like yourself, you may be of the first generation of professors who actually has a degree that is multidisciplinary. And as a staff member and a creator of content, I'm trying to fill gaps where the mechanical experts don't speak electronics, or the embedded electronics experts don't speak mechanical, and foster that. And Scuttle was an invention to start at the university and give a platform that integrates. Now, I spent 1 year in Malaysia. I met Narazmi, and he's been leading the huge activities by now. This was 2020. 2020 we started, and we have a small lab that we started with a couple of 3D printers and a couple of young engineers fresh out of school. Now we're teaching, partnering with Intel, etc., to put these robots in the university, give them some targets, like create a robot that performs a task, and then support them and see what they can invent. And so now I'm just continually, from right now, I'm continually just trying to create documentation, trying to meet the needs of young people with limited budgets to invent what they want. And Doc?
Yeah, Doc. Okay, so I'm Norasmi from Malaysia. I got my degree in chemical engineering. Then I did my master's, mostly materials engineering related to corrosion, and that's how I got into more, electronics measurement of the materials. I did some impedance spectroscopy study, for my postgraduate work, and more materials, and all my life working always in the realm of the electronic industry. I started my career with Motorola. I was a semiconductor. In Phoenix for about 5 months, then got shipped back to Malaysia to have the facility in Malaysia. So a short stint, and then I decided I want to become a chemist again, because my favorite subject was trying to, in chemistry, try to make some molecules, whatever. So I did like a 7-year stint in a Belgium-based chemical company making polymers for photoresist for solar mass, work for about 7 years. Then I decided the money is not in the materials, the money is downstream in the final product. So, venture into more product development, outfit, the government based in Malaysia for a couple of years. Then back to Motorola, two-way radio team, which is north of the Malaysia internet, and for about 6 years. And funny enough, I was leading a group of mechanical engineers, design the mechanical, components for the two-way radio. It's a kind of, giving a little bit of a, challenge how to understand the mechanical guys thinking versus the chemical guys thinking. Then I get this into government kind of outfit, broad collaboration between industry and academia, managing grants and the talent program for about 10 years. Then towards the last couple of years of my tenure there, so I met this guy called David Mallory in Johor, Saudi Arabia, and he put this kind of a very simplistic looking robot on the table, and I said, what do you want to do with this? He said, I want to get more people outside of Texas to have a go at this the scuttle. I said, okay, let's get a project going. So and here we are. So we've been working, and I'm not supposed to run the show here, by the way, in Malaysia.
Yeah.
Was supposed to do this.
We've gone through some from.
I'm holding him accountable for this, but I've been enjoying the journey so far. Working remotely, I think, I guess it was always challenging the first time we tried to get things to work, but having done that in previous jobs with people from Europe, from the US, from other Asia as well, so it kind of makes life easier, on the transition part. But so hopefully we can get together again. Last time we saw him 2021, so we should see him back again. Either way. So we're having fun. Doing what we set to do, and we're just looking at what we say we're going to do in 2020. So we did just that in 2 years. Get more people on board, on starter programs. We have programs that is outside of Texas A&M where we teach them to learn about how to assemble, program the robot, and build something on top of it. I think it's kind of a very commendable, achievement for a small team, that's working in the U.S. and in Malaysia, and so that's kind of a good, of progress. So I'll start there first, otherwise I'll keep talking for.
So basically, what I envision is that we want to reach out to new places. They're going to require the knowledge of the localities. Your knowledge of Africa means you would have the connection and the graceful interaction culturally to help us deliver free value and engineering information and structure to something new. And the Malaysia story is the evidence that we can, with very limited resources, we can do some big things. And then if we get some support from a educational institution or the government, then probably can do it much faster.
Yeah.
Were there any questions that you had about what we're doing?
Talking to me?
Yes.
From our last interaction, and I know we said quite a lot about a lot of things. Um, but I think what I was really interested in was when David sent me the goal, for starting off. But I like that because it was very itemized and well put together. I think following that, we can follow through. But in a way, I think the timeline is a little bit too long.
Yeah.
I feel that it can actually take place with a shorter number of years rather than you know, 2033. Um, because I had to think through the goals and in terms of executing every one of it in Nigeria particularly. I don't think it could take that long to get all these things done.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time we underestimated the goals. But this is really helpful feedback because we need we need to have the ideas and th- the ideas and the contributions from outside to refine those goals. That's why I actually said we'll finalize these 10-year goals in by December. So I'm making notes about your comments.
I just told David that we need to shorten that to 5 years, so, you know.
Yeah, I think 5 years would be great.
5-year goal. Yeah, and you might notice the reason we don't talk a lot about technology in those goals is because the technology is changing so fast. And it comes back to what are we going to do for people, regardless of whether AI is designing robots or people are no longer working in factories. Then what are we doing for the people at that point? So between Phil and Ola, what is the initial steps that we may be able to pursue in early next year to try to start a Scuttle lab or something like this?
Engineer Lowell?
Can you go ahead, Phil? Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. I thought you wanted to start.
Oh, no, it's kind of, what we're looking at is what would be the initial steps in your opinion? You mentioned covenants and FUTA were likely candidates, quality candidates for starting something out in Nigeria. And Covenant is kind of a gated community. They have a number of resources available. And then we would like to experience the greatest success in either FUTA or at Covenant, which is somewhat close to Lagos. Covenant is definitely. And then, so do they have the necessary robotics lab already testing? Do we need to bring this resource with us, or?
So yeah, being one of the persons that pioneered acceleration lab in Nigeria, that is in a tertiary institution. I was one of those that pioneered the facilitated that facility in one institution in Nigeria, or it happened to be the first in Nigeria and in West Africa too. So yeah, based on that knowledge, is what I was able to inform Phil of the need to be in certain places. Because when he came, he told me they have plans for UNN, and I told him you're going to use UNN. These are certain challenges you're going to face, and which in the long run is not going to benefit the goals that you set out because you'll be hampered at different points, either by power, either by security, either by the right audience, the target audience that you need to. I think it is important that when you're planning this program, you need to look at the target audience that will first, that will most readily accept this concept, ideas, and the product you're bringing in. And so looking at that and my work that I've done in Nigeria over time in the field of social entrepreneurship for over 10 years, I was able to recommend that Covenant University, FUTA, and some other private universities in Nigeria would be the right right platform. And also, I wanted us to limit the involvement of the government as much as possible because of bureaucracies and bottlenecks that you might experience in that aspect. And so we look for self-sufficient organization and communities that can stand within itself, flourish within itself without with little interference from either the government or others. So I was able to map that out and I decided that it's something that I could do, you know, in terms of because I also have a team down there. So despite the fact I'm in the US, I have an active team, you know, working out on several ideas I find in the US or that I'm working on presently. So that is how I've been able to keep in touch with the institutions, with the government partners, and also individuals in the country. So yeah, so I think Scotland robotics came right in the time when I was thinking of doing some work in robotics. Because of my PhD degree in the US, so in fact I've been thinking of stuff to do within the Nigerian community because there's affinity for robotics now, but there's actually no one, or there's actually no organization that is bringing it out um, either in the right way or bringing it out in what will I put it now, in a more readily available package for people to accept. I've been thinking of that, and the one few came out like, oh, this looks like an awesome idea, you know, and stuff like that. Yeah.
So that's really great news that you have an active team down there. Is there what is the name of the organization or the group that that's working with you?
So basically, they're more like I work with several groups. One of them is Enactors, one of them is Sport Prize. So basically, I form my team from within these people for a project that we are doing as a point, and also they're also the two-shade group as well. So each of the people, we have regular interactions. I have um, more like a group of maybe 60, and then we have team leaders in all of these groups that facilitates discussions down to these people, and then we map out strategies to implement certain things. So also I prepare them for competitions as well. You know, we go for national, international competitions. I take them right from here sometimes. And, so I think if this comes on board for the Nigerian community, I think it will be something that my team will ready to be willing to to run with and to implement because I would say that the terrain is ripe for this innovation. They're just looking for the right set of people, the right package itself to this.
Wow. So it's sounding like you are several steps ahead of us. And in Nigeria, we need to just be asking you if you want to use this technology and our existing examples and people, what can we offer to help make that successful?
Okay, you mean if you want to offer to Nigeria, what? Say that
So,
again. Again.
so if I wanted to support you in bringing Scuttle into your group and local communities that have a passion for technology,
Yeah.
and they trust you because you have the USA degree, you have lived there, you have led there. So then, what actions can we take to bring this robot, bring some skill sets, and help make them successful in the group that becomes sustainable?
Okay, the first thing is we need to package this very well in such a way that they'll be interested in the value that it brings. So the, the, the value in terms of knowledge, in terms of future prospect, in terms of collaborations, you know, and secondly, um, once they believe thing is you want them to be able to run with it, right? So you need to be able to prepare for their logistics to be able to run with it. You know, it, because you need people to meet with the organization, and also you need to provide maybe initial package for them to be able to show as they go around. Like if you want to do it in Covenant University, for example, you need to meet with the authorities and say, oh, this is what we have on ground. Yeah, this is an example, a sample of it, you know, and then and there can be agreements with like let's say you want to do an MOU or something like that
Uh-huh.
to show that that you have an active partnership with this organization, and also that and what I want us to do again is because there might be other groups like you that are trying to come into this terrain, we can make sure that we fight on competition by creating exclusive partnership with these people and at the same time we'll be looking out for the strength and weaknesses of the present constitutions that are available at the moment. So, and at the same time, after that, I want we want to take it one community at a time. So once that is done, we move over to other communities within the country and like that. So the reason why I chose Covenant University to start is because one is the most recognized institution, private institution in the country of West Africa. Two,
Oh.
it is self-sufficient, self-funded, and it's the highly respected research community in West Africa. And three, they are well funded such that if they are interested in your program, you know they need to do too much to push. And five, because I finished from there and I have connected right there from the vice chancellor to the founder association down to even the students and well known within the community. So, and six, having them accept it means that almost every other person in the country will accept it because
Yeah.
they are respected and I want to tell other communities that, oh, this right now is working in Covenant University. They will also accept it. They are looking forward to match the same, energy and the same.
Yep.
That we have.
Yep. It sounds like you understand the people and their motivations. Wow.
That is my job. I've been over the country, done several things in terms of instituting projects. I've done over 10 projects just to improve lives, improve standard of living within the community. So I understand. So my team is strong and very knowledgeable about the terrain. So
Okay. Well, I have a lot of ideas and being able to condense this discussion to take next steps, I think is the next step. Because I feel Phil, so given what you've done, your research on agencies in Africa and Nigerian universities, do you feel like that Ola just gave some answers that make your existing research more clear?
I believe so. Well, if he was able to provide some specific insight into a bit more about potential partnerships, I think I agree with the idea of going with private institution over governments like we've done in Malaysia. I heard that and seen a lot of companies come in from outside of Nigeria, for instance, from Canada, and they end up being what drives a lot of the force for the accelerators, for the incubators. Major problems that I was seeing were obviously that these people don't take robotics seriously, and so I think by addressing it with Covenant and having a successful modality for a soft start would be a really great opportunity. I think hammering out what we expect from Covenant through a partnership, through a memorandum of understanding would be really the next initial step in figuring out how we're going to structure, if we want to continue with the
even have a very, very good mechatronics department and all. It's an institution that is technology. Yeah. So you won't have any problem there. So in terms of memorandum of understanding, um, whenever you're ready, please let me know so I can read through and get you guys information about that. If you can.
Um, Ola, do you have maybe two or three student leaders? You mentioned that you have a large body of students involved in your team, and there are leaders among them. I don't know if they're faculty or students or both.
Both.
But do you have a few? So you talked about packaging the story and the offering, and maybe we can, through you, we can bring two or three people that are there currently to just have a couple of meetings and decide, well, what does that well packaging look like? So we need to see good documentation of actual electronics, or we need to know that we're connecting with big companies after we graduate and learn something. Or, to me, that's my next set of questions is what does it look like to have it well packaged?
So well packaged will be from what if you have a brochure right now
Mm-hmm.
that states all that you do, the vision, the mission, the value that you're bringing into the community. The brochure is very important. Visualizations of your products, of the plans, to need to be um, visual, visual details, and maybe if you have videos of maybe the robot itself, you know.
We have a lot of them.
Exactly.
I
So
think,
those the initial packaging that I myself can, if you give that to me, right, I can
yeah.
now discuss with them and say, this set of people are coming and I like
Okay.
to get prepared. So the goal will be for me to prep them for you to come in, right? So if I ask you to go in yourself, you might not know how to, connect with that community, and that might be a challenge. But if you can package all that for me initially and give it to me, then I can run off and say, okay,
Okay.
yeah, this is
Okay.
what is coming. I need you guys to be ready. And then I hype them up and hype you up in their presence. These guys are really ready to transform the robotic industry in Nigeria and all that. They'll be really so that way they can be ready to receive you. You get it's just like saying I'm the John the Baptist going before.
Yeah. No. Okay. So here, I got an idea. Philip, you could lead the drafting of a brochure. I can be of service to provide any kind of multimedia that you need or the right links. And Ola, you can basically be the manager of what it needs to look like and smell like. Uh, if you have the next maybe 1 or 2 weeks, periodically we'll connect and kind of build that together. Then and Narazmi, you stay overseeing and you catch our errors since you have the most experience.
Well, I think we have to work with what the dynamics of working in a particular country. I mean, I can offer in terms of how we are dealing with in the Malaysian perspective. I mean, but then again, I mean, from my experience, you cannot take a model that works in country one and then
Yeah.
try to plug the model into country. You can't do that. I mean, you have to work with the dynamics of what's happening in Nigeria, for example, and then we have to figure out what's the best kind of framework we can kind of brainstorm idea of how the best way to go forward, and so we have to be guided by Malalakan here in terms of how to move, how to build the so-called the program that will have a smooth kind of a landing, and then we'll create impact immediately when we run the program. So we need to actually do that. But all I think what I like to see from the Nigeria perspective, what are the pain points that they're trying to see where robotics and all other elements of the robotics, AI and whatnot, will enable the country to move further. I mean, is there any kind of a like a national plan or national agenda that's been set up, by the Nigerian government or or by the industry in Nigeria, say, hey, we need to get into robotics.
Yeah.
So if we can have that kind of document, that would be a good way to see, okay, this is what are the pain points in Nigeria, and then we can see how the platform like Scuttle, which can actually ease the learning, and because a lot of learning that we see from, I mean, there's no pun intended here in academics, that take a longer time, right?
Yeah.
Want to see how we can reduce the so-called you know starting point, then how, like you said, what's the continuation, what's the outcome? So we need to take from getting into people to learn Scuttle, but then they learn it for what purpose, right? And I think that's the whole idea. I think that David mentioned about we want them to learn so that they can build something or they can contribute to the to the world of robotics and create more research, create more technology, build solution for Nigeria and whatnot. I think we need to have that kind of picture here. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I think, I'm very strategic with my thinking, especially when it comes to strategy, because I've been in that space for quite a while, implementing innovations as well. Um, when it comes to the Nigerian community, which is quite different from what I've experienced even when I was in the UK or when I was in the US and other countries, is that in the Nigerian context, when you're doing things with the government, it's not reliable. So the government might have written down um, brochures, written down agendas, but they don't follow them at all. So what they do is they take the lead or private institution is successful, and that's the reason why I can be part of the Covenant University community, because through Covenant University, we've been able to be one of the or be the hottest curriculum in public education. So when they see that it's successful, they will have no voice but is ready to follow that path because of the success the institution was making. And for the robotics aspect, the country right now is clamoring for AI and robotics to come in. And there are some little organizations trying to support it, but they are not doing it in the way that it will be very effective.
Phil, could you mute?
So if Scotland Robotics become a partner member of the Covenant University community, and then the students, because this is how it works. I'll give an example of one of it. 15 years ago, when the aspect of tablets came into the country, they wanted it to be used. So this particular company came into the country, and they liaised with one of my mentors at the time, and then he brought them into the Covenant University community. There they were able to download the students' curriculum, student classes, everything into a tab. So most times you don't need to carry a lot of textbooks around and all that. So the tab became what became a useful tool, and then they were able to embed to the Samsung tab then at the time. So because it was successful in Covenant University, the country saw it as a need to enforce electronics gadgets into the institutions, such like that, and another private university took it. And there are other ones that went that have been witnessed to. So I'm saying that if we can really make this solid within this institution, then and other private institution takes it, the government will now begin to fall in line. And one reason why I'm very particular about this particular institution is because it's an institution built on integrity. A lot of people coming to the country are also scared of, Nigerians are corrupt, are scam. But this is an institution that I worked with for over 5 years that has no track record of corruption,
Wow.
home or abroad. Yeah, so, and that is the reason why I'm very much happy to rely on them. So based on that platform is why I'm able to link up with other private institutions, governmental, private, and other organizations. So that I'll be able to implement a lot of things, riding on the wave of the integrity of this platform to other places as well. So yeah, it's just a matter of when you guys are ready, I'm ready.
Excellent. I will be right back. I need to grab the paper.
That sounds really good. So how about I'm really excited to hear that. Like, all right, we found you, and you're familiar. You have a group that you trust can deliver results, and it sounds like you understand the pain points. So. I want to I'll send to everybody these slides I used to show Narazmi in 2020 when I first met him. He was a person of authority that may be able to help me, and I brought these slides to say, well, this is what we can do with Scuttle, and then that you can say, okay, some pieces of this belong in the package. And then the other pieces we need are A, B, C, maybe. And then Phil, you can be the illustrating, editor, and I'll help from there.
Because one of the first things I need to do is, me myself, I need to be soaked into the knowledge of Scotland to know exactly all that you provide, all the contents you're providing. So it will be easy for me to speak to them and tell them of what you're bringing in. But if I'm not well knowledgeable about these products and all the plans you have, it might be very hard to convince them. So I really need to get your brochures, read and understand, ask you questions about certain things so that I can package the work in the right state.
Do you use WhatsApp?
Do I have WhatsApp?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you want to visit Texas? I'd be happy to show you the lab, to show you what we did in the university.
I'd love to. Maybe I could organize a trip where I could come down to Texas in the weekend or something. Did that work for you?
You're welcome anytime. Yes, I will make time for this.
Okay, yeah. So having a video of myself too and showing them as well will be very convincing that these people coming in are not coming to scam them in Nigeria.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have one other Nigerian professor who has come to. So warning, the lab outside the university, it's a garage. It's a garage lab, but it's pretty great. And we had one other professor. He's working right now as a postdoc.
Yeah.
And he toured the lab and did exactly what you're talking about. He built one of the units, and he was very excited to bring it to Nigeria, but different from you. He did not have experience in the higher level economics and government and organizations. He is very technical.
Oh, okay.
And so I would be happy to also introduce you to.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
So you can let us know the timing, and I will give the thumbs up and talk about how I can help make it happen. Yeah.
Yeah. I think after my doctorate meeting, I'll be very much available. Yeah.
Okay.
Excellent. When is your doctorate meeting?
My doctorate meeting is on the 15th of December.
Oh my gosh. Prayers for you. Lots of prayers.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I will also see if I can read. Do you have some publications on Google Scholar? Like, can I kind of dive into the stuff that you've created?
Putting my name on Google Scholar, you see my publication.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'd like to get a little technical background on you as well.
Yeah. My latest work was designing a fingerprint, a novel sensors that has the human fingerprint as a model, for the robotic skin.
Okay, I'm gonna take a look, and I'll probably have questions about that too. Is there anything else that we need to cover, Phil?
So next steps, I've got David providing media, Phil will draft a brochure, I've got some of that that I can provide you later on with just general here's what I found, and then we'll go from there. When would be a good time to meet next? Do you want to wait till after PhD meeting or?
Yeah,
Maybe that all look at has its own, kind of focus on his PhD, for the event.
So I'm actually done defending. I've graduated. I graduated in August.
Oh, okay.
It's just
Congratulations.
the ceremony that I did,
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
need to leave my thesis, get ready for the day, basically.
Okay.
So and also one of my professors wants me to work on a very important publication. So that 3 weeks I'll need to balance myself to get ready.
Okay.
Because I worked at a robotic institute called Global Automation Robotic Institute. So you can check it out.
How do I spell that?
Research Robotic Institute. Larry, it's called Larry, Larri. Yeah. We
Okay.
did quite a bit in the institute.
Okay, my brain reached maximum capacity for the morning. Are we good to conclude?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. Do we have a time for next meeting, or does somebody want to meet up?
Let's see. What day is it?
Thanks, Doc.
We can do. Okay. We can do maybe 22nd or something, or December.
That works.
What what day of the week is that?
It's on a Friday.
Okay.
I might be at work though. So can we do weekends? Is weekends okay for you guys?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, 23 will be good then.
Okay. 23 Saturday. Phil, just send us a calendar thing and we'll make the time.
Cool.
Sounds great.
Just before Christmas.
So, but please remember to send me a lot of these brochures so I can read on and understand and digest.
That's my homework. Okay. Okay, it was really great to meet you.
Yeah, nice meeting you.
Thanks everybody. Great meeting. I really appreciate you.
Nice to meet you, Doc.
Hey, let's catch up.
Take care, everybody.
All right. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.